The French Foreign Ministry says Israel's blockade of Gaza has resulted in the risk of famine. The comments come as over 100 NGOs warn that mass starvation is spreading in the enclave. Israel is facing mounting pressure to let more aid in, but it's blaming international agencies for not distributing the assistance which has entered the enclave. The worsening humanitarian conditions on the ground come as the U.S. dispatches its envoy Steve Witkoff to Rome for talks with Israeli officials on a potential ceasefire deal with Hamas. We can now go across to Gaza and speak to Deir al-Balah resident Bahaa Zaqout, who works with the NGO Palestinian Agricultural Development Association. Thank you so much for speaking to us on the program. You spoke to us yesterday. How are you and your family? How have they been doing since then?
Since yesterday or since the beginning of the war? Because the situation every day gets harder and harder and more difficult for anyone in Gaza Strip.
Where are you getting food from? Because you have a family, you have children. What are you feeding them?
The minimum, the least thing that we can afford in these insane circumstances. Mainly, it is wheat flour, some rice, and if we are lucky, some vegetables.
So you're going out to buy these things, or are you getting supplies from the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation?
No, we buy these items at insane prices from the local markets.
And I see you're talking to us, from your home. I imagine in Deir al-Balah. Do you have electricity where you are?
No, I'm talking to you from the office, from my office. In my home, there is no electricity, no internet access, no anything.
And you're able to go out?
It's a little bit risky, but this is the risk that we are willing to take to continue our work and our support to the IDPs throughout the Gaza Strip.
Now, you know that Israel has launched an offensive in Deir al-Balah and called for residents to move. Have you been impacted?
No, fortunately, the evacuation orders were near the area where I'm currently residing. But so many people, hundreds of thousands of people were affected, including several sites that we are currently or used to operate or to manage through our organization. Most of them have to leave and to go to another area, especially in the Middle Governorate. But unfortunately, and we just heard this today, because most of the people were living in the streets, just sleeping on the streets with no tents, with no shelter at all. Most of them started to go back to the areas where they evacuated from initially, because they explicitly said that we are willing to take the risk and not to stay in the streets. So we are willing to take the risk and to go back to these red areas.
Now, you're working with displaced people. People in Deir al-Balah have already been displaced, and now they're being displaced once again. Where exactly are Israeli authorities telling them to go now?
They specifically told them to go to Mawasi Khan Yunis, but unfortunately, the areas, 40% of Gaza Strip is considered or so-called a humanitarian zone, which is, I'm telling you, which is not. It's not safe area. So the IOF is telling them to go to Mawasi Khan Yunis, but when people started moving there, there is absolutely no empty spaces for them to set up new tents. So this is what I was talking about. They had to go back to the areas that they evacuated from a couple of days ago.
And what about the elderly, people who cannot physically move?
Unfortunately, they have to move. It's not only about the elderly, it's about children, women, people with disabilities. And in the area that was subjected to the recent evacuation orders, we were managing an adaptive camp, which is a camp specifically for the people with disabilities. All of them were forced to move, and now they are all staying in Al-Zawaida area, which is northern to Deir al-Balah, with zero services.
you work for the Palestinian Agricultural Development Association. I know that now you're currently
Yes.
helping the displaced with the war that's going on. But can anything be salvaged on the agricultural front once this war comes to an end?
It's going to be a long time before we start the restoration of the agriculture sector, but there are several ideas, several initiatives that we can implement if there is an actual ceasefire. Actually, we are currently doing so much work in supporting the agriculture sector, investing in new approaches and technologies, especially home gardens and shelter garden. But for wide scale or medium scale agriculture practices, it's unfortunately all of it, if it is stopped, especially considering that the vegetables and fruits baskets are located in the areas that are under the control of the IOF.
Uh, you said you and your family have been eating the bare minimum. What happens if you cannot afford things anymore? Because as you said, things are out of reach. People, there's a black market clearly for goods. Are you worried for your family's future?
To be honest, this it keeps me out of the bed every day, every morning. I imagine your 5-year-old child or 3-year old daughter asking you for the least, and you just all you have to give to them are promises, only promises. This keeps every father, every mother in Gaza awake. They are suffering with this fact on a daily basis. The things that we are providing to our children is considered a wheat flour loaf, a bunch of rice, bunch of lentils. That's it. There are no services at all, no other types of food, vegetables, fruits, all of this. And my youngest daughter, she's 3 years old. So when the war started, she was only 1 year old. All of her life, most of her life, she only knew the war. She haven't got the chance to try different sort of foods. But the things that I really want to talk about isn't just food, because after all, we are not just mouths to feed. We are people that we want to live a decent life. We have dreams, we have ambitions. We want to be treated as equal to different human beings. This is the case that I want all of the world to talk about. We are not just hungry mouses that needs to be fed.
But if you can give a message to politicians around the world who are watching and saying words to improve the humanitarian situation on the ground but are not doing anything, what would your message be?
Clear. My message would be, as I said, please look to the Gazan people as human beings. We are not numbers. Everyone is just every day there are hundreds of Palestinians or tens of Palestinians being killed, injured, and in addition to starving to death. We are not numbers. We are human beings. We deserve to be treated equally as the rest of the humans around the world. We want to pursue our dreams and ambitions. We have the capacities and the qualification, and we used to be one of the smartest people in at least in the Arab region, and we have come a long way in different aspects and different fields in life. But now, after more than 20 months of war, all of our lives have stopped. Please restore our lives to us, or give us the chance to restore our lives back.
Bahaa Zaqout, thank you for speaking to us, and I hope you and your family stay safe.
Thank you.